What up, though? I'm Cedric Sutton. This is Balance of Power. You came here to learn, so let's put it in. Today's lesson is for people in the early stages of relationships. I haven't forgotten about you. I know a lot of this has been for the folks who've been in the game for a while, but this is for the early stage cats right now. Now, if you have been in the game for a minute, you've been in long-term relationships, this might be something you need to hear too. If you need to hear it, I'm sorry, but hey, you should have caught me earlier. This lesson might be cold, but my job is to tell you the truth whether it's cold or not. So the lesson is this. People are not their potential. People are who they have been during the last 10 interactions or so with you. So, even if you feel deep down that they're a good person, or deep down that they're not a cheater or not a liar, or they have the potential to be really good in this area, really good in that area, who cares? Life doesn't care about potential. Now, we're going to get into some exceptions later. So, I can already see your wheels turning, especially you ladies. That's right, I'm watching you. I can see you through the screen. It's superpower. I see that. I know you was thinking, and we're going to get into that thought. I'm watching you. Now, even though there's some exceptions, this is something that you really need to think about. Don't get caught up in thinking about how the person could be with you, how they could be something. If they're not what you need them to be right now, that's something you got to think about. You need to observe rule 2. Know who they are. And know also rule 1. What are you willing to accept / not accept? Despite what you may think, despite what you may have heard, despite what society and Hansel's telling you right now.
Hansel, so hot right now. Hansel.
It doesn't matter what's hot right now. You don't have time. We are not guaranteed tomorrow. None of us are. You ain't got any kind of time to be worried about what someone might grow into as far as them being a better person. You don't have time for hopes and wishes. Hopes and wishes is, I don't know, maybe if you met this person when you were 5 or 6 and y'all been then, but what are you doing watching this video if you're 5 or 6? Go do some homework. Stop watching this. Now, there's a debate as to whether men do this more or women do this more. Who does it more? Who more so than the other thinks about the potentiality of how good this person could be and ignore everything that they have seen, everything that they know, everything that's right in front of their face? Truth is, we do it the same amount. We do it the same amount, but we do it during different circumstances. So let's start off with the ladies, shall we? Because that's just more fun with how y'all do it. Ladies, you tend to ignore things that are blatant in front of your face. You'll have a dude say to you, straight up, yeah, I've cheated on like every girl I've been with, like, can't help it. I mean, just happens, bruh. So that guy who just told you exactly who he is, he told you who he is, your daddy told you who he is, your girlfriend, everybody. He done cheated with your best friend and you decide to get with him even though he's been cheating on every single person. And you still think, oh, but he loves me and deep down I know he's a really good guy. And seriously? You're banking on his potential. No, who he is his actions have told you who he is during the last 10 plus interactions you've had with him. He told you, his actions told you, his mouth told you, everybody told you. You know, but you're just on this hope, wish train, and you won't get off it. Gentlemen, when it comes to you, us, we tend to ignore flags that are right in front of our face, but at the same time, ladies, to your credit or to your discredit, however you want to look at this, you tend to be better at, I'm trying to say this in a nicer way, but I don't think I can. You tend to be better at fooling men. You tend to be better at hiding who you are / the real you. But there are still ways, ladies, that you tell on yourself. And gentlemen, you still see these things. Yo, dudes are telling you, especially if you have a friend who's good with women, who's telling you, yo, she been around this block getting money from everybody. Are you sure you want to do that? And you're like, well, I don't know, like, maybe, and you start trying to rationalize and think about all the reasons, we will ignore flags and use logic in this weird way to try to give excuses and reasons as to why, well, she had a hard life and she had this and she had that and it really coincides with my life. Gentlemen, it doesn't work like that. And I'm going to tell you right now, one of the main reasons you are doing this is because you come from a scarcity mentality. I don't like saying the phrase either. It's a phrase that I heard a lot in corporate America, scarcity mentality versus an abundance mindset. And it sounds hokey and love, peace, and chicken grease, but putting the spiritual aspect of that aside, like The Secret and all that, just putting the manifestation of it away and just thinking about mentally what it does for you if you don't have a scarcity mindset, if you don't think, oh my gosh, I have to accept all of these things I see and rationalize all of these different ways and do mental backflips as to why this woman's actually better potentially than who she actually has been. You're doing that because you're worried about losing her. Because, ladies, you should know this, it takes a lot more for a dude to get a woman than it is for a woman to get a man. So women kind of naturally have this abundance mindset because that's your life, ladies. For us gentlemen, it takes skill and all kinds of things in order to acquire a woman. And so if a dude has done all this work, he's like, I can't miss out. Like, I put in so much work, and what if I don't get another one? Like, thinking in this desperate, what if I can't lose what I have, this little amount, it's going to mess you all the way up. So again, just thinking about it mentally, if you don't think like that, if you think in a way of, hey, if I lose her, I lose her. If she's not the one, she's not the one. If she's not right for me, if this is who she wants to be, if you don't have that mindset, just think about it. When have you worked best in your life? When have you gotten the most female attention? Even if you don't get a lot of girls, have you gotten more female attention and actually even more male attention as far as dudes dapping you up like, hey man, what's up? You look like the man there. You looking kind of diesel, dude. Men are noticing and women are noticing your energy. It's usually when you don't care. It's usually when you don't have this worry as if you're a less than. When you're thinking of yourself up here, when you're thinking of yourself, and you've heard women say confidence a million times, and I don't want to talk about it in terms of confidence. I want to break down into mentally try to not give a, just try. Don't think confidence, think I don't give up. If I lose you, I lose you. Just real quick, because I just realized, I know who I'm talking to, and again, ladies, is the thing I was telling you earlier, I'm watching you. This is not an excuse for you to get rid of good dudes, ladies. What does that mean? That means I'm not talking about, oh, he doesn't have the greatest job yet. I'm not talking about his job. I'm not talking about his money. I'm not talking about any of these things that grow over time naturally. I'm talking about characteristics. I'm talking about his honesty, his loyalty, his ability to do what he says, his fortitude, his strength, the ways in which we as men judge each other. That's what you need to be looking at. I'm not saying get rid of a dude because, oh, right now he works at fast food joint. You can't be like, well, Cedric said, like, you need to be what I need you to be right now. I can't wait for, like, potential. Like, no, ill. You have how much? F the money. It's not about the money. Maybe later, but in those ways, that's the exception I was talking about. I'm not talking about potential in terms of his job or his money. And gentlemen, I'm not talking about, I don't really have to tell you because y'all desperate enough to just grab anybody and anything. So I'm not really worried about that with y'all. And if it does pop up, leave it in the comments and let me know if there's any way in which dudes need to be told, don't get rid of a good woman because of some other potential thing that he should be actually looking at. But ladies, I'm talking about who this cat is as a man. The same thing that I would do if I'm looking at, I don't know, like a mechanic. I'm looking at his honesty, especially when it comes to a mechanic, his reliability, his skill. Can he do the job? I'm more worried about who he is as a man, because I'm willing to grow with this mechanic as he gets more equipment and more and better employees or whatever. If he's honest and a good man, you need that in a mechanic. You need that in a doctor. You need that in a lawyer. You need honor and strength. If we want that from other men, ladies, you need it more than we do. And we can go into that on a whole other video, but start looking at dudes' characteristics. Don't use like money and height and all these frivolous things that don't matter in terms of this. Don't use my potential rule as a deterrent for you to get with a good dude. Alright? Why is this even important? It's important because you need to know, as we've said before, you need to know who you're with. Now, if you determine that this person, you've been looking at their potential and not looking at who they are as a person, and now you see who they are as a person, I'm not saying you gotta leave them. I'm not saying you gotta break up with them. What I am saying is you need to know the truth, so then you can make a decision. Now, if you decide, oh snap, he told me he was a cheater, he been cheating, at that point, you can decide whether you're with him or not. You can decide whether you're with her or not, especially if you know. Your man done told you she been in these streets. You know she do things. So now that you know the truth, you can make a decision. And yes, the truth is cold. The truth is hard. But you're in a relationship now. It's not the same as when you first got them. Because acquisition is elementary. Retention is hard. All right, now the class is mostly free, but pay the fee with a thumb, either up or down. Just let a brother know whether you love it or hate it. Now, this is a new channel here, so be sure to subscribe yourself. Tell other people to subscribe. Let everybody know. Now, you know you love this learning. So come on back and click on another video. Until next time, deuce deuce.